It's that time again. Yep, we're doing this again. I don't know for how long, but gonna be doing this for a bit, as usual. So, yeah, now how it goes. I'll give everyone a bit of time if anyone wants to tune in, I guess. I'm not in much of a rush, because I have no idea how long I'm going to be doing this, and why... Okay, sure. I just completely missed that floating power pole, even if it was just directly in front of me. That about checks out, to be honest. But yeah, in case you guys didn't watch the Twit VOD, ah crap, I forgot to paint that. Man, I was so excited, I completely forgot that segment of it. Wait, no. Okay, I didn't forget the fences as well, I just didn't paint it. But yeah, I did this on Twitch, because I streamed for the first time on Twitch in like... over 2 years, I think, yeah. And I did upload the VOD as just a video, because I figured I'm probably not going to be streaming over there for a while. But I still wanted to do it, and I might stream more over there, I don't know. I feel like I might just go... The thing is, I don't really shitpost anymore. And I was like thinking maybe just doing the shitpost equivalent of streaming, which is just stream whenever I record or just whenever I farm stuff. It's like things like Scrap Mechanic 1.0 are about to release and I want to play it. But I could also just go live over there every time I'm recording. Like, I could absolutely just do that. It's just a lot of extra effort. And then there's the whole issue of which do I prioritize? Do I record at the sacrifice of the stream, or do I stream at the sacrifice of the recording? Because I care more about the recording, but more of the content volume will be streaming. So, like, it's just a huge debacle of, like, I don't really have the size for streaming priority to be worth it. But then, at that point, why would I even stream it at all if I'm just not doing it for the stream side of things? You know? Right, now that is all fixed. Because, you know, some people have mistakes happen too. Right, another thing I wanted to do was fill this thing up. We could maybe just try and fill this thing up with stuff. Or we could expand it, like, you know, was the initial goal. And I could put the music back, because I just had a single song queued up. So I'm a dumb. So let me fix a couple of things. First of all, let me open my actual tabs that I need and everything, because I just set it up through my OBS, but I didn't make sure everything was working, so like... Okay, this is all good, apparently, okay. Let's find my music thing. I need to update this. I made essentially a file called Streaming Soundtrack V1 a while ago. But I need to, like, update it and add new songs to it. Why is this so quiet? There you go. It's really quiet, but I don't want it too loud either. But, like, what even is this first song? I can't hear it. Oh, it's free falling. Damn it, I need to, like, volume adjust it and do, like, a whole bunch of stuff. That's the problem with just outright just not caring about copyright. You have to have it be quiet enough to get the strike, but not have the stream get taken down. You have to have it be quiet enough that it gets copyright claimed, but that they're not confident enough to just take down the stream in real time. Which is like a whole gambling game, pretty much. I also worked on this thing a little bit off stream, but nothing crazy. I think I added like half a section, maybe one section. I'm kind of blanking on it. I've been working on this thing very inconsistently because I've just been kind of burnt out. Just all around. Not even just of this project, but also just I've been sleepy as hell. You know what I could do? I could just listen to the actual Satisfactory soundtrack again, because I could have it be way louder. It would be just a way less of a hassle and way more entertaining than this crap. There. And let's start, like, halfway through. So, like, nostalgia, I guess. That way it's... Actually, I'm gonna shuffle it. Shuffle. Did not even shuffle. That's just fun. Hello? Shuffle is off. No, shuffle is on. There you go. Oh, you know what it is? I probably have to finish the one I just clicked on. Yeah. There it is. Alright. Another thing has been solved. One thing that hasn't been solved, though, is how dark it is in this goddamn hellhole of a tornado. Which still looks microscopic, by the way. This tornado is still minuscule. Unfortunately. You know what? I'm even going to add the next layers right now. Because I want to, seeing how it's night, I want to go look at how big it would be with this amount of layers. Because this height would be, maybe give or take one more, would be about the stopping point. Like these two levels being done was kind of my initial stopping height in my head. Of like, this would probably be pretty big. Unfortunately, this thing is turning out to just look a lot smaller than expected. And, like, it's already way bigger than Let's Game It Out's tornado by, like, almost double at this point. Like, it's not even close, but because it's in one of the lowest biomes, which is also surrounded by some of the tallest biomes and just mountains in the game, it looks tiny because, like, 90% of it is just covered in mountains. It's just blocked by the mountains. So, because of the position of this thing, it kind of just looks microscopic. It just looks comedically tiny, and that's kind of just unfortunate. And it's also getting increasingly more tedious to make bigger because it's, well, massive. Like, it looks tiny, but it's also just way bigger. Like, you need to do a lot more work than, say, something like the Christmas tree to get the same amount of size gained. And so having it be even remotely similar scale would be, like, dang near impossible. Not to mention, most of the performance impact is going to come once it has items on it, in theory. So, like, for all I know, we could already be past the game's breaking point if you put items on it. So that's what I kind of want to do here after. We might just not even expand this thing yet. My bet is we're just kind of gonna fill it up with junk here today. Or make a valiant effort to fill it up with junk, at the very least. And by fill it up with junk, I mostly mean just anything I can get, really. Like, what should I fill it up with? Like, what's something that would be easily visible and that we can get a lot of? It would have to be something pretty big and boxy. Do I have silica automated? I actually don't know. Nuclear pasta, and none of the stuff would be, like, good. My idea was to make it use uranium, because it's what's in this biome. I could just have it be just a massive funnel for this uranium here, which unfortunately is impure, so that'll be an issue, but you know. When is it not an issue? But then again, a lot of the uranium lines just run through, like, over there. Like, if you look over there, all those belts are uranium lines. Or at least they were once upon a time. Yeah, out there is more uranium lines. So I could just force them to reroute through here. And then just kind of, like, go through the tornado and then go way back out there again. But, like, it's just kind of one of those things where it's, like, risky. And I also don't really know what the amounts I need are. I don't remember what the amounts per minute that are going on all those individual belts are. So, like, that's a whole thing of issues. There's the full loop at what would be a nice height. I mean, that would be massive, like... But it still just looks tiny, like... when you look down it like this and you're close to it, it looks big. But, like, if I just start making my way this way for a bit, like, even just from that station over there, let me go to that station and show you how small it is. Because I can do that pretty easily. Just already, from this height. Just this distance, not even at the station. It looks tiny. Like, it makes some cool patterns, but it just looks microscopic, even though it is actually just massive. And that's just kind of due to the nature of how perspective is. There's no way to make this thing look big, unless I made it go like way the hell up there, which I'm not going to do. Because it's just kind of how perspective works. We're looking down at it instead of looking up at it. So, like, it's always going to look small. That's just how perspective works. But if I drop down, say, to this ground area, well, now all of a sudden it looks pretty big. It's not that insanely big, but it definitely doesn't look nearly as small anymore from down here. And then when you get back here, it kind of just stops looking like anything at all, really. It's just like not even that big. Because, like, just for a bit of a scale perspective, that is the tornado, and if I do the same zoom, that is the tree. Roughly same distance even, yeah. Tree, tornado, tree, tornado. The sizes are just not even comparable. But the thing is, the tornado is, in theory, larger. Proportionately, because obviously the tornado is made out of belts instead of rails. So the tornado is way harder to build than the train tornado. But the thing with the train tornado is it's just way larger by nature because of how it's made. It's a train tornado, so it's made with rails, which are, I mean, I don't know the exact amount, but like, let's see. Yeah, about three conveyor belts wide, roughly. So it makes sense that essentially a tornado, a third of this size, is the same amount of work as this giant tree. Somewhat. So I think once this thing is done at this scale, it'll be perfectly reasonable. I mean, let's be honest, it's already way bigger than any other tornado. For what it is, it's an impressive scale, but in the grand scheme of things, it is not an impressive scale whatsoever. It's microscopic in the grand scheme of Satisfactory. I mean, look at that base over there, proportionally to it. Even that is massive. Look at my base over there. It's also massive proportionately to it. So, like, it's tiny in the grand scheme of Satisfactory, but if you look at it closely, it looks massive, because it's, well, a train tornado. Not a train tornado, whatever, you get the idea. It's a belt tornado. So yeah, who knows? I feel like that's probably as big as I'm going to make it, because beyond that, it's just not worth it, but also it's never going to look big. I've kind of accepted defeat on that it's just never going to look big. Because when you see it from the inside, like when you're on it, oh yeah, it looks big. But is it actually, like, all that crazy? Not really. It looks really cool, but it's not that crazy big. Like, honestly, I think the most fun part is just jumping down the center of it and just watching it all the way until you hit the bottom. But what I want to do right now, forget expanding it, let's do some testing today instead. Let's find out like how much crap we can load this thing up with. Because you know what? I'm genuinely curious. Let's disconnect that. Maybe I shouldn't do it like this. You know what? Yeah, I will. I will figure out a way to do this if it is the last thing I do. Where is the end? I stopped all the way out there, okay. Let's do the old sliding trick, but on the edge of this stupid thing. There you go. Doesn't work well, but it does work. And then let's just go straight down. I mean, realistically, like, where else do you want me to go? So we're just trying to turn this thing into one big loop. So if that's the goal, let's turn it into one big loop. And then I wanted to fill it up with uranium, which has its problems. So I think I won't do that yet. Or should I? I mean, I think I should just use something easier to access. Is there a pure node of like anything here? Pure iron. Iron is going to be hard to see, but it could work. I mean, I reckon it would be worth it. So, iron it will be, I guess. Because if it's iron too, it's just going to fill up pretty quickly. So let's scan for not uranium, for iron. And let's go load this thing up. Hey, I'm guessing this is it. Yep. And we got power right there. So that's easy enough. 1,200 per minute. And it's just gonna start digging at Mach 40. Because that's its purpose. There you go. Now I'm going to let the thing pre-fill for a couple seconds. And then we can start letting it rip, pretty much. I shouldn't have to, but I'm going to give it just a bit of buffer, just to be safe. Actually, while that fills up, I'm going to open MSI Afterburner, because I want to see the real-time resource usage just absolutely climb. I want to see what ends up climbing. Because I did notice that when looking straight down, like in the inside of the tornado, it has started to drastically affect GPU usage. Not enough to actually dent the performance, but as you can see, my GPU usage right now is like, actually it's quite high already. But normally it sits around like the 40s, and as soon as I look down straight at the middle of the tornado, it would climb to like 100. It wouldn't tank the frame rate, but it would climb. So there you go. Let's try and fill this thing up, see what happens. It's gonna take a while to fill, if our prior experiment of this is anything to go by. So I'm gonna give it quite a while here. But it'll be filled once it reaches this point. Yeah, you can see it. 99% GPU, 50%. 99%, 50%. So it is starting to have an impact, just not on the frame rate yet. You can tell exactly where the iron's at, though, at least. It's a lot darker than the iron rods. So we can actually see real-time progress. Which is to say that it's very slow. Alright, in the meantime, what I could do is continue to expand this thing. Because, like, why not? If I'm just gonna be sitting here waiting, like, I may as well continue to make it bigger and better and stronger and faster and every other thing that comes along with those wonderful lines. Kind of interesting how the tornado gets a shadow, like always below me. Yeah, that's all iron ore right there. This thing probably takes like an unfathomable amount of resources to fill up. Like genuinely, it probably takes an insane amount. Yeah, that's the sign I should go put an overflow stack on all my uranium. Because if I want to fill this thing with uranium, and the reason for that is because it's not only big, but also it's green, so it'll match the fact that the belt is, the belts are green. And matching is cool. It's just, we need, like, a ton of uranium, obviously. And we're using all but 100 of it on power. So it's gonna take a hot minute to collect a lot. I also don't know what belt this is. Because whatever it is, it's not doing anything. Which is always just fun. When a belt is just not doing anything. Like, it's never alarming at all. Because if it's here, it was doing something. And it's not. Okay. This belt also clearly seems to be stopping quite a bit. So I guess we'll make it our candidate for our overflow tomfoolery. So this is going to be our slavery belt that we're going to enslave for this dumb idea. And, I'm actually going to disconnect it over here instead. And I'll put 5 of these down. Just for good measure. Alright, now we should start just building up uranium. Which normally isn't a good thing, but in this context, doesn't seem to really matter, so. That's not good. That might be why we're building up aluminum. Not aluminum, uranium. Because, like, yeah, we have excess, but we shouldn't have much excess. This is an abnormal amount and the power's dipping. So, like, it's just a little bit sus, you know? Let's go see what is broken once again. It could just be the augmenters, which is always a probable cause. But I also wouldn't put it past this to be a refinement issue. Seeing how all of these are not doing anything. Well, it's actually because they don't have enough encased anything. Maybe it isn't. We're about to find out. Because if there's no nuclear waste barrel excess, it's not an issue at this end of the chain. Which... okay, there is an excess. Or at least there's a lot of it. But is it a lot because it's an excess? Like here, there's like 1 million non-fissile uranium. Because those aren't going at the end. They don't have any pellets. I mean, this all looks to be working mostly fine. This is just idle. There's no nitric acid. What? Why would there be no nitric acid? That's like the one thing I wouldn't expect to break on something like this. Unless these are just working harder. This going? Yes, this is going that way, okay. Well, nitric acid, if I'm not mistaken, is over here. And all of it is stopped. I know that's sulfuric acid. 200. That's not great, and I see these aren't running. They're not getting water? Of all things, water is an issue, huh? Why would these not be getting enough water? How much water did he consume? Like 30? And there's some going down here too, so like 50 each. Where's this water coming from? Over this way. It's the full 600. So what does this mat out to? 50 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 50 times 6, that's 300, yeah. And then 30 times 10, that's 300, that's 600. This should be working just perfectly fine. But of course it isn't. Because this is Satisfactory and nothing ever works. Yeah, we're not even getting 600 in this pipe. There's a issue elsewhere. But on this end, we are getting 600. So, like, who knows what's up with that? I am slightly worried, because if it's a waste problem, it means we have a lot of waste barrels in the waste barrel train right now. I haven't even gone over to look. Mostly because I don't want to. But I probably need to. Because, yeah, all of this, except this last one. Not getting enough sulfuric acid. That's mostly a good thing. Okay, it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's not a bad thing. As long as all of these are running, we're good, because these are the ones actually making the rods. But the fact that there's not enough here is suspicious. Now it's green across the board for the most part. I don't see much that would be suspicious. Like, other than that nitric acid acting funny, I mean, this amount is dropping, which is not good, but I wouldn't say that's an extreme red flag yet. The fact that these barrels aren't cleaning up, though, is a red flag. The waste barrels should be clearing out, not... This belt shouldn't constantly be active. There's 20,000 barrels of waste in this? Yeah, that's not good. That is what you don't want to see right there. I mean, adding another source of nitric acid would be feasible. It's just not worth it. Whatever, we'll do this. We'll add a pump to... We'll add a pump to this thing for the time being. And I'll keep an eye on it, because I think this is the main issue. And we're just gonna hope that that kind of just works. Like, this isn't running because there's an excess of concrete. That's not running because there's an excess of quartz. Like, these are not running at all. So they just have no nitric acid. It's not too much of an extreme issue, but hey, at least it gives us time for the tornado to fill up. That's basically what I wanted to test, so should be kind of filling by this point, hopefully. Alright, now, let's see how full this thing is at. Is that like half? Alright, if that's actually where it's at, and that's not just a weird shadow, which I think it might be a weird shadow, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's up to there, so half, but obviously the belt's getting longer and longer, so it's not true half. But there's the progress so far. This thing trying to fill up. Obviously with the iron, it just kind of turns darker. It's not a bad amount of progress, though, by any means. Like, that's good. Still just need to wait this out, though. This just kind of makes you realize, more than anything, just truly how long this is going to take to fill this thing up. I already forgot where I even reached when I was expanding it over here. I'm curious now. Is this imbrewing? Kind of. It's probably going to take a minute. And capacity is down. But I don't really want to have to go over to the nuclear plant right now, so that's not my problem right now. It's not like we're going to run out of power. This is a great accuracy tester, though, for mouse movements. It's like, how accurate is your mouse? Me, yes, it's really good at making tornadoes in Satisfactory. It's like, do you play shooters? Me, no. But what can you do? That's, of course, I fumble it twice. Me, literally anyone asks me what I play. Do you play shooters? Me, no, but I play Satisfactory. Which is to say that I can actually aim, but only when building conveyor belts. But clearly, now that I'm trying to say it, it's not working out for me. It's filling. It's not filling quick, but it's filling. It's also not rendering the ores particularly well with all the buildables, but it is working. It's starting to have rendering issues even worse now. That's odd. I mean, it makes sense. It's probably trying to optimize itself actively. That's not connected. That's pretty usual sight. Surprised it hasn't happened more, though. So far, it's been chill with the belts not connecting properly, but there's our first, unless I just missed one completely. But I think it's been going okay. Haven't seen any do it, but maybe it has and I've just missed it. I have been kind of just locked the heck in. That's insane, though, the amount of resources that this can fit. I genuinely want to know. The problem is it's probably just way too much. Like, I almost don't want to figure it out. And there's, like, realistically probably no way to, like, get an exact count. I guess there would be. You figure out how much stuff can fit on a certain distance of belts, and then you just figure out the distance of the belt. I could do that. I can try and figure out the distance of the belt, and then figure out how much stuff can fit on the length of belt. Why does this look so wrong? I think I'm just starting to see things. This just looks not aligned right, but no, it is. I've just been looking at conveyor belts for so long that, like, I just can't tell anymore. I'm actually building so fast that I just noticed the dimensional depot can't keep up. It's actually struggling to go as fast as I am putting these down. That's a crazy problem I never expected to run into. In fact, I'm now putting down belts long enough that running out of things in the depot buildup is a possibility. That's gonna slow this down so much. I didn't consider that. Like, yeah, obviously that's how that's gonna work. The more and more it ends up taking, the less and less the dimensional depots will be able to keep up. That's kind of crazy. It's almost full now. It's taken a minute. I'm just kind of letting it fill up because I want to... I don't think I'll work on this for much longer because I am kind of tired, to be honest. I wasn't even going to do this at all. I just kind of wanted to give a bit of an update. That way, if I decide to work on it, I don't... It isn't just, like, suddenly double the size. And I also wanted to lock in the fact that this is probably going to be the final size of it once these two are, done. So, next time you see me stream this, if I stream the end of this at all, will probably be the finale of this thing. The finale of the tornado. Because if I stop making it at that height, then that'll be that. So far, my goal is to stop at that height, but... like, who knows? Boom. This thing's almost filled up. It's coming along. I filled it with iron to see the performance impact. Hello, Gimbal. We meet again. So yeah, this thing is bigger by a bit, you know, as usual. I filled the entire thing with iron to see if it would make a performance impact, and the answer is, if it does, I can't tell the difference. So, good optimization, I guess. And it's taken the entire stream, basically, to fill. There's the progress I've made the whole time. You can tell where I offset it. In an hour, I made 13 layers. That's pretty bad. Granted, I had to fix nuclear problems, so... Actually, did they even fix themselves, or do I still have to do more? I know, there's still... I mean, we're back... No, it's kind of just dropping again. Yeah, no, I don't think they're still fully fixed, but I fixed them partially. They're not getting worse, but they're not improving. I don't know. Do you mean like a peasant? What the heck is a passant? What is a passant? Because I do not. Oh, it's a chess rule. I have no idea what that is. Even with a search, because I'm not that good at chess. But I did figure out it's a chess move. You told me last time? Okay, well then I probably just forgot. Either I forgot or I wasn't truly paying attention. Probably a mix of both. To be honest. I remember we talked about chess, but I do not remember us talking about that. I guess I'll know how much this basically takes to fill up now. Or at least I could figure it out. Because now this entire thing has to drain. So I'm not actually filling it with iron, I'm gonna fill it with uranium. At least that's the idea. Just have to wait for it to empty so I can delete this belt. At least this whole area just looks so much nicer now and isn't just a massive mess. I just need, like, supports for that giant train bridge in one way or another. I was thinking, like, on one hand, I'm like, I could do, like, the railroad style where it's just massively tall, like, walls of supports. But on one hand, I kind of want the path up there, once I do end up redoing that one, to be kind of nice and visible. If you shift click in equipment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do that, like... I'm just not, for whatever reason. The thing is, I'm used to not doing it for tools, because it always puts it in the first slot for whatever reason. So I just never really got the habit for equipment. Giant arches kinda works, it's just annoying. Like... At this scale especially, it's just going to look very angular, but I have done giant arches. I've done arches over there. But that's about as big as you can get before they kind of just start looking dumb. Because that's the biggest angle you can get. And it would still just look kind of weird. I've done some sizable arches, but that's... not really one of them. Like, it would be too big, I bet. I could try just leaving it floating. But it's also, like, kind of too... I could try and make some, like, thruster things. But... it's just, like, tiny, because, yeah, that train bridge is only, like, a 2x2. Like, it's only 2 foundations wide by however long. Like, it's kind of small to work with. Yeah, I know thrusters, but, like, how do you make a thruster model that is, like, that tiny? You overestimate my creative abilities here. Yeah, that's my point. It's only 2 foundations wide. And I feel like it wouldn't really fit the whole theme of the world. That's kind of why I just never did anything. I threw up the idea of just making a really big bridge. Just like massive arch with like massive pillars. But that's kind of, after I thought about it for 5 seconds, I realized, yeah, that would be problematic because this is like about as big as you can go with that kind of a design. And then I was like, yeah, how about no? I could, but like, yeah. Is there that much latency? Because I'm streaming in 0, but it's not actually 0 because I'm streaming in too high of a resolution for 0. But it shouldn't be more than like 5 seconds at most. Like, unless it's abnormally high. Like, it shouldn't. I'm just reading your messages slow. Unless it's just my chat on OBS, which is slow, which could be the thing. Because the viewer chat is more responsive than the streamer chat. It appears messages quicker. I found that out a long time ago, actually. And I believe it's still the case. So if I want it to be, like, the quickest responsibility possible, I'd actually have to open the chat on my own stream, like, as a public viewer. Because for some reason, that one updates with less latency. For whatever reason. You say waffles? Alright, sure. Waffles. Let's see. One, like... Actually, wait, let me do it again so that I can see how many seconds it takes. Wow, you still haven't even said it real time, so like... I'm still gonna wait. It's been like 20 now. Damn. There is like a crap ton of latency. I wonder why that is. I don't even have my studio page open because I'm streaming just through OBS like I did for Twitch. But I wonder if that's why. Let's see, if I open this, does this just work? Like, this preview? Oh wow, there is a ton of latency. This preview is from like... Whoa. Yeah, I should not have that much latency. That's crazy. That is like especially bad. Wow. How long was that? That's like 20 seconds of delay. That's insane. That might just be because it's being streamed different. Because normally I don't have that big of a latency. Even my preview is not that long of delay in studio, and that's got as much delay as you right now. That's crazy. Well, that's good to know that if I stream through OBS, not interfacing with YouTube at all, that it has a crazy amount of latency. You know, you learn something new every day. So if I care about latency at all, I need to still stream through YouTube Studio, and I can't just bypass it entirely. You know, sometimes you just learn things the hard way. I'm actually glad you tuned in to find that out. Because I did not know that was that much worse. Unless it's just a change that happened, which could be possible. I love how the game is like struggling to render everything. It's starting to do some like funky stuff with rendering the belts. That's cool though, and we found out that items don't really make it too crazy much more laggy, so that's not going to be a problem. The thing is, a lot of people intentionally set stream latency because that's something you can do. I actually stream at the way lower than YouTube wants. In fact, I have a constant pop-up warning telling me, hey, you are streaming at too high of a resolution for this latency normally. Can you please, like, not? And I'm just ignoring it the entire time. So normally I'm at the absolute lowest that it will let me for 1440p. And the only way I can go lower is drop to 1080. Which I could, because like streams don't need that much quality, but also like, considering my normal videos are 4K, already being streams at 1440 is kind of low. But I'm pretty sure the delay for 4K is like 30 seconds, is the lowest it officially wants you to use. So like, it's just not worth it. When I can just ignore the warning at 1440 and get like 5 to 7 to 3. Like, it shifts around because obviously I'm at the limit, but it's not that unreasonable. Like, 5 to 7 seconds, I'd say, on average. Not bad. When you get to like 30, and it takes basically what feels like an entire minute for a response to anything, kind of gets a bit scuffed. Either way, I think I'm just going to call it here. I don't want to keep working on this because I kind of just want to go to bed, to be honest. And I also worked on it earlier today, so I'm kind of just annoyed, but I'll let the game run just for it to clear out again, because I don't want iron in this thing. And then, I guess this will be the final height, because I don't think I'm going to make it much bigger than what these pillars are currently. Mostly because it's just not worth it. Maybe, I don't think they do that, though. YouTube's quality for streams is insane. Just to kind of put this in perspective, the max bandwidth for Twitch is 6 megabit per second. The max bandwidth I can stream on YouTube is 51. Now, I haven't divided 51 by 6 in a while, so I don't know what that is. YouTube can stream at 8.5 times higher bandwidth. You can stream at 8.5 times higher bandwidth, if I say it correctly, on YouTube than on Twitch. Which is to say you have like 8.5 times more max data to work with to stream in higher qualities. So like, on one hand I get why the delay is there at the higher resolutions. I'm streaming at half that maximum, so I have it set to 25 megabit. And, like, OBS tells me what it's doing, and right now it's at 25.3, 24.9, 25.3. It kind of just shifts around a lot, but, like, I could go up to 50 comfortably. I could double my stream quality right now, and, like, YouTube would just be like, okay, and just say nothing. Which is crazy, because I'm already at, like, more than 4 times the quality I can stream on Twitch. So, like, why would I go over? The thing is, YouTube is the superior streaming platform, but they don't want you to stream here because it loses the money. YouTube streaming isn't profitable for them because they pay more than Twitch, and then the quality is higher, so it costs them more than Twitch. So, like, it's a lose-lose for them. They have the superior streaming platform, but they're not advertising it as that or pushing it because they lose money on it. Which is kind of ironic. That I've probably lost them thousands of dollars. And you know what? That's fine. it compensates for them being terrible at running a company, which is the main fun part. Either way, that'll be that from me.